Yeah, definitely. But let's hop over to college football, Higgins, because that's my favorite sport to bet, period. Probably. I just love college kickers. So much fun, so much excitement. And my other favorite thing to do, Higgin, is to take coach teams who have fired their coaches. And guess what? We got one of those. Well, actually, I jumped the gun a little bit because I'm talking
We'll
about
get to that. We'll get to
Washington, but
that.
I'm also taking Washington State. So this is a 2-for-1 special here, Higgins.
Just
But
loving the PNW.
on exactly, Higgins, I gotta support your neck of the woods.
I
Someone's
appreciate
gotta
that.
be supporting the Washington football teams. But starting on Friday night, a 10:30 Eastern time kick. So Higgins, just text me throughout the night, keep me updated on what's going on out there.
Will do.
Washington is taking on Arizona. Arizona is a mess. They are down to their third string quarterback, Higgins. It's not going to go well for the Arizona Wildcats the rest of the year. Washington, a team that kind of is playing for some stuff still. They still can get to a bowl game. I'm not really sure they can win the Pac 12, but I guess mathematically they could. So Washington's still alive, fighting for their season. I think Washington covers this 17.5 easy. This quarterback playing for Arizona this week had no expectations of entering a game this year, and he's entering a game in week 7.
Yeah, the Pac 12 has been an interesting story this year. Arizona's been the disappointment, but to be honest, Washington is not much better, but it's going to be an ugly game on Friday night, but I agree Washington should still win this game. To me, it's a stay away, though, because this game's just going to be ugly. It's going to be ugly.
Well, that's why I got you texting me while I'm asleep.
I'll watch it for you. Yeah, I'll watch it for you. Don't worry. That's how
Exactly.
I'll spend my Friday. I
Thanks, man.
I save my picks for some Saturday games, though, personally.
There you go. Well, there's some good ones on Saturday. I guess I already gave away my Washington State pick, Higgins, so I'll just give it away again really quickly. Washington State hosts BYU. Nick Rolovich obviously had a interesting termination at Washington State this week. I always just take teams that fire their coaches, Higgins. So Washington State lets their coach go. 4.5 point dogs. It's an auto play. This returns approximately 60% winning rate, right? 40% you lose. So you're not going to win them all, but you're going to win most.
Yeah, I understand that, and I absolutely get that. Washington State, though, however, they have a tough matchup against BYU, who they got hit in the mouth against Baylor recently, a game that we talked about on a previous podcast episode.
Yeah,
And so
some
I wouldn't be
idiot in a
surprised to
white
see
shirt was on it.
BYU. I wouldn't be surprised if BYU does respond this week a little more focused. So Washington State, I get the pick. I get following the firing of a coach. Personally, I have a pick that's similar to that. Not quite firing of the coach. LSU and Ed Orgeron, they're gonna part ways. It's been already announced, but Coach O's gonna finish out the season and he's gonna leave because he said he wants to finish out the season. What are we doing here, LSU? What are we do? He doesn't care. The players aren't gonna care to play for him. This is a terrible decision. Meanwhile, you got Ole Miss coming in, Ole Miss hosting LSU, ranked. I don't have any trust in LSU covering a 9.5 point spread. I'm taking Ole Miss because LSU is going to underperform the rest of the year for Coach O, and he should have gotten out immediately upon them parting ways this past week.
Yeah, I mean, I guess the only counter argument would be like, well, he beat Florida while negotiating, so I guess it's possible for him to win some games, but kind of what you're saying, Higgins, it seems like the writing is on the wall, and the coach is already halfway out the door. So, what is LSU playing for? Also, LSU without a lot of their key players. But again, they somehow beat Florida last week, and I don't know if I could pull the trigger, but I definitely agree with a lot of your reasoning.
Yeah, I think partly why LSU was still able to win that game against Florida might have been because it was a home game, so
Definitely. And also, the
Edo
news
was able
wasn't
to do
out.
that.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
news wasn't out. So I think there's certainly some reasoning that I agree with of what you're saying. I can't argue with it. I just can't pull the trigger yet.
Ole Miss, they're still playing for something too. I mean, Alabama has a conference loss, so Ole Miss coming in. I mean, Ole Miss did not get a win against Alabama, so Alabama has the edge over them, but Ole Miss plays the best they can the rest of the year. Who knows what happens for the Rebels? I mean, it's an interesting scenario for them. I really like that afternoon game. There's another afternoon game, though, that I'm also going to be on. That's the Wisconsin Badgers at the Purdue Boilermakers. Purdue just snuck into the top 25 recently. And you know what? This over under set at 39 and a half. No way. No, I'm taking the over. I understand Big Ten football can be slow, but 39 and a half just takes one early score on one of the first few drives, and that live play is going to jump into the 40s. So 39 and a half, I'm taking that over right now strictly as a value play because of how low it's at, and I'm hoping for an early score by either side. Personally, I like Purdue this year. I like what I've seen from them, and they've been able to put up 20 something points. Wisconsin's been able to put up 20 something points. I'm hoping for a 40 something point game here.
All right, Higgins. Let's get some scoring between Wisconsin and Purdue, and throw everyone off here. And let's have it be the highest scoring game of the week. I'd love that. That would be amazing.
Let's have a 50-point first half.
I would just love it if at the final score of this game was like 60-56, like something crazy.
Like the Ole Miss Arkansas game the
Ah,
other week.
yeah, and they posted a 39.5. Could you imagine that? But one more game before we get out of college football, Higgins, that I'm focused on. Oh, the undefeated Oklahoma State Cowboys, who might have a claim to the best team in Oklahoma, although a quarterback change at the other school may have delayed that claim a little bit. Takes on Iowa State, Higgins. Iowa State has been disappointing this year. They are 6.5 point favorites. I don't get this line. I'm falling right into the trap. I'm diving headfirst into this trap. This line makes no sense to me, but I'm taking the dog. Oklahoma State plus 6.5. They're the top 15 team, Higgins. They're the team firing on all cylinders. And they might even be better than the Sooners, who are the best team in the conference preseason.
And you're getting that line at plus 100 because it looks like any second now it's going to move to a -7 line and it's going to even back out because it's minus 122 in favor of Iowa State -6.5. And the plus 6.5 that you're getting for Oklahoma State, that's at plus 100 value. I love the play. I find it interesting too. I mean, the Cyclones, they've gotten a lot of hype this year and they fell out of the top 25 and they've kind of underperformed. I agree.